Hey, what's up to everybody out there? Welcome to another edition of the Roundtable Talk. I'm your host, C Money, and today I'm doing a pandemic update on the coronavirus situation. I know it's been a minute since we did a video, and right now we're supposed to be doing hotspots in South Florida, but we have put a pause on that. That's our new segment in the Roundtable Talk is hotspots in South Florida, and we had to put a break on that because of the fact that the coronavirus situation came, and then a lot of businesses started closing down. Now, I'm giving you an update on the coronavirus situation and what's been going on. As of now, you know that Florida and dominantly South Florida as well has reached its maximum rate of coronavirus cases. A lot of these cases have shot up to the point where we in like this is not the beginning of July. In mid-June, early June, we went to phase 2. Now we're back to phase 1 because a lot of and there are several reasons why I believe the cases went up, and I'm going to explain to you in a couple of minutes, in a few seconds, what I think about that. What it is that now the cases are shooting up, and now everything is going back to phase 1, and it is crazy out here. And as I say, the reasons I believe that the cases are going up is number one. Look what happened last month. George Floyd, as y'all all know, was a human being that was killed in the custody of the law enforcement officers, where the policeman had his knee on his neck, and the suspect, I won't say suspect, or the person, aka George Floyd, died while the man had his knee on his neck. And now protests have started all over the country. There's been riots and everything. There was riots down here where I was. A lot of businesses got, tore up. A lot of businesses had to close their doors early. A lot of businesses had to, close for the day. Either they closed early or they had to close completely. A lot of businesses got burned down. And not only with George Floyd, it was also Breonna Taylor, also Ahmaud Arbery that was in Georgia, even though he wasn't really killed by policemen, but it was racial. And also the guy, I don't remember his name, that was killed by officers in a Wendy's parking lot, and they burnt the Wendy's. So a lot of this is like going crazy with these protests and stuff. And as you see it, and now down here in the Fort Lauderdale area, an officer was suspended because he pushed the girl. To the ground. And now there's another officer in the city of Miami Gardens, which is a city in the in the area of Miami-Dade County, where an officer tased the girl. She was pregnant. He tased her in the parking lot of a strip club. Tased the girl. The incident happened in January, I believe, or earlier this year, I believe. And the tape just got surfaced. And in that tape, the bouncer told the guy who was recording to delete the video. Now, let me tell you about something about citizens. I believe a lot of these people don't record videos just for their personal fun. They record videos for it to go viral. Earlier, a friend of mine sent a video where a guy was in a supermarket, looked like Publix. I'm not saying that it was, but it looked from the video. And the guy called the lady who was doing his sandwiches. The guy was talking to another customer and said, well, you done stopped this lady from making my sandwiches, and you interrupt my sandwich making, and now I have to wait and all that. And then he called and he told the lady, it's not my fault you're a nigger. So a lot of this racial profiling and a lot of this hate crimes is now coming out. I also reviewed that a guy who worked at a burger restaurant on the beach got battered because of a hate crime because he was a homosexual. You know what I'm saying? A lot of this stuff is going out, and a lot of people are like 2020 is not the best. Yes, 2020 is not the best because first you got the coronavirus. Now you got racial policemen out here and policemen that are using their badge to actually, you know what I'm saying, for their personal use. And now you got hate crimes because not only is it now Black Lives Matter, it's also Black Trans Matter, meaning that the LGBTQ community also lives matter as well too. You know, and a lot of these guys who are homosexual are now being brutally beaten up and brutally, you know what I'm saying, terrorized and shot and killed and battered and, you know what I'm saying, physically, emotionally abused because of the way that they live their life. And now they just passed a law stating that you cannot get fired because of your sexuality. If you gay, the Supreme Court justice just now passed a law that you cannot be fired if you're homosexual. See, a lot of this stuff in 2020 is now coming to the surface. And I told a lot of people, and like I told my friends, and I told other people as well, I say a lot of this stuff should have happened years ago. You should have passed that law for homosexuality years ago that a lot of these homosexuals can actually not be fired because as I see it, it's a lot of men that like to dress up like women, which is called transsexuals and drag queens, or you know, and they can't go into work dressed up like that. They can only do it in their private life. But some of them wants to live their life like that. And for you to live your life like that, a job can say, "Oh, we're not gonna hire you because you're a man. We don't want a woman. We don't want a man in here dressed up like a woman. We want a man." But now the law requires that even if they do come in there dressed up as a man, if a man come dressed up in there as a woman to work, they don't have the right to fire you. But my thing with what happened on the beach, if you look it up, you know, look up gay man gets bashed Miami Beach if you want to look that up. Why didn't the gay guy got fired from his job? Number one, why didn't management call the police? Because they said after the two victims left, the gay employee walked over, which was not far from where I guess he worked at, to the police department and filed a report. Somebody actually recorded it and it went viral. Now, my thing was, why didn't management call the police at the time that the customers was bashing their employee? Number one. Number two, why didn't management step in? That's the whole point. And now to the fact is, now you got people out here that's basically, you know, they're being bashed, they're being brutally, you know what I'm saying, things. But now you don't have no like justice in the system. And my thing is with that, you know, he just got fired. And I'm looking at people like, why did he get fired for two guys bashing him? You know, number one, he needs to get a lawsuit out for, he needs to file a lawsuit against the company because it's wrongful termination. You know, yes, he hit them with a chair, but what that was self-defense. There isn't a law that says if you're self-defending yourself, you get fired. There isn't a law that says, you know, yes, if you hit them first, of course you're going to lose your job, but they hit you first. You didn't attack them, they attacked you. See, a lot of these things that are happening in 2020 is now, it's like, it will, and like I tell everybody, like my friends say and everybody else, it will get worse before it get better. Look at what's happening now. A lot of these states all started open. What was the first state to try to open everything up and get back to normalcy? The state of Georgia. Now look at it. The cases are going up. I see videos of people in nightclubs and bars and they not social distancing. They don't have on masks. They run around here dancing up on each other. And I'm like, where's the social distancing? I see people who go to parks and they go into these, you know what I'm saying, venues. It was, you know, a lot of people, they walking around. Now it's required that you got to, you know, wear a mask even in public. You walk outside your house, you got to wear a mask. And then it's like, what is going on with the economy? People don't realize to take this virus seriously. You know, my mama tell me all the time, you're not taking this seriously. I said, yes, I take this virus seriously. I have my hand sanitizer, my mask, and everything I need to go out when I go out. I have hand sanitizers, my wet wipes, you know, my mask. I have everything that I need when I go out. You know, I only go out when I need to go out. I don't go out every day. This is why that we put a break on our shows, especially our hotspots in South Florida, because, you know, it's hard for us to go out when, you know, social distancing. And I'm like, this is not something that people should take lightly. Now the cases are going up, and now in the state of Florida, you cannot go to a bar and get a drink. They banned all alcohol drinks. Yeah, you could probably go into a liquor store and buy liquor bottles to go home and drink, but you can't go in a bar and say, let me get a rum and coke, or let me get some, you know what I'm saying, Patron or anything of that nature, because they ban drinking in bars. You know, because most of these cases are coming from bars. And like I told a lot of people, I say most of these cases are coming from protesting. Because if you look at what's going on with the protesting inside, not just here, not even in the state of Florida, in all states, Georgia, New York, Washington, D.C., every state, look how many people is out there protesting without masks. Look how many people is not social distancing. You know what I'm saying? When you do these marches, when you do these protests, you're supposed to be 6 feet distance. You know, if you read on how it is, when somebody sneezes, the sneezing can go to 6 feet. They can sneeze up to 6. My boss even told me that at one point. The sneezing is going 6 feet. You know what I'm saying? And now it's like, wow, a lot of these people are looking at, you know, why is we getting these cases? Why are we getting these cases? And I said, because these dumb people don't know how to social distance and take care of themselves. Soon as the bars started opening up, you run to the bar. As soon as the restaurants start opening up, you want to try to get a seat. I barely go out to eat anything. I now know them. I don't get my food delivered. And the reason why is because I don't, you know, these are personal drivers. Because now a lot of these companies that before the pandemic, they didn't have delivery service. Now a lot of these companies have delivery service, and they don't have their personal delivery service. They use Uber Eats, Grubhub, what's the other ones? Postmates. They use stuff like that, and these are personal drivers. And I don't know these drivers, you know what I'm saying, because they're delivering my food. They could have put something in my food, or they could do something to my food, or they could be driving around for an hour dropping out other people's foods, and then mine won't get to me until about an hour later. And that's why I say I don't do it. And I now know the meaning of online ordering and takeout, like, because there's a couple of restaurants I signed up for online ordering, and I order my food online, go pick it up, take it home and eat, you know, since the thing. So I look at it as if now these people don't understand, you know, soon as the restaurants open back up, you're going to rush into the restaurants and get a seat to eat. Soon as the bars open up, you're going to rush into the bars and go get you something and go get something to eat. They're telling you to stay home and social distance yourself from people. Soon as the clubs open up, you want to run into the clubs and start dancing up on somebody. You're not knowing that these people are things. Just last month, Universal Studios, just last month in June, Universal Studios opened its doors. And I was in Orlando, but I wasn't at Universal Studios because I was there because I was on vacation with some friends. And yes, we practiced social distancing. There was only 2 of my friends, and we practiced social distancing. I visited a theme park in Orlando, kid you not. And it was a theme park called Fun Spot. Now, during the time of my vacation was the same weekend that Universal Studios opened up. Now, one thing about the theme park is it wasn't as crowded because of the fact that, number one, it was mostly bad weather in Orlando that weekend, meaning the weather, it was raining and stuff like that. And not only that, during this pandemic, a lot of people are not coming out. So us social distancing was not a problem because we could social distance, you know, and Fun Spot was a good place. I didn't do Hot Spots in South Florida video there because it was a vacation for me, and not only that, it was raining, so I couldn't really do too much of taping in the rain for the weather and stuff. But and plus I'm pausing on the Hot Spots in South Florida for right now until we get a little more clearance on everything. But basically, it's like things are trying to open up soon and open up too quickly to the point that this is the viruses. The virus keep going up. They had a viral picture going around with Universal Volcano Bay, and it was like a line, and there was nobody social distancing, and Universal had to step in and say, hey, we see what's going on and we have to take precaution. Even if you go to a theme park, you got to know that it's hard to take it's hard to do social distancing in a theme park. And the reason for that is because basically, it's going to be hard. Okay, let's take Universal Studios for instance. You already know on a regular Universal day is because when I visited Universal Studios back in 2018, I visited, me and a friend went. The longest ride wait time was at Harry Potter's ride in the main Universal theme park. Not Islands of Adventure, but the main Universal theme park. And it was 90 minutes. Rip Ride Rocket was a 60-minute wait. The only ride that was a short minute wait, that's really short, the shortest, if you go, is Woody Woodpecker's roller coaster, which was probably like 10 minutes, less than 10 minutes, maybe 5 minutes, but it's in the kids zone. The shortest big ride was basically Shrek 4D. That's like the first ride when you come inside the park. So imagine in a pandemic that the rides is going to be longer, because remember, now you can't sit next to a person on a ride. You have to sit every other seat, because down here where I live, on public transportation, you have to sit every other seat on public transportation, i.e. buses, trains, and anything of that nature. So imagine you going to a theme park and you're on a roller coaster ride. You have to sit every other seat. Meaning a person have to sit in this seat, then they have to sit in the seat behind you but left of you or the right of you. If you're sitting in the front left seat, they have to sit in the seat behind you but on the right. So it's like, and then they have to clean every ride after each person gets off. So that means it's going to be a 10 to 15 minute wait, because look at what the barbers are saying. The barbers can cut your hair, but after they cut your hair, you have to wait 15 minutes, up to 15 minutes before the barber sees another cut, because they have to clean their utensils, clean the seat down. I got a haircut from my barber when he opened back up, and that was like a week or two before my trip to Orlando, which was in early June. Now, my barber said their prices had to go up, which I understood, because now they probably now there's a thing that businesses now can charge a COVID-19 price. And the COVID-19 price, at one point, I was like, why is people paying the COVID-19 price? But when I looked at it and the news gave us an insight of it, a COVID-19 price is basically they have to charge you for cleaning. Meaning that after every customer they have to clean and sanitize every area, regardless if you're in a restaurant, you're in a medical office, you're in a barber shop, wherever you go, they have the right to charge you a COVID-19 price, but they have to inform you before you purchase. My barber told me the price went up, and it was a couple of dollars, and I said, to me, it was only $5 more for me. And I'm like, it's cool with me. I've been with you for a minute. So I'm not finna just stop going to you because the price went up like $5 more. No. So I'm cool with it, because, you're doing not just my hair, you're doing my facial stuff. So a lot of these businesses now are, they're opening back up, and people just running. Because when I went to my barber, he said, the first day we opened up, everybody was just bum rushed us. And now he has to do appointments now. And I'm like, wow, because everybody was so quick to go to the barbershop. And I say, I'm not going to a barbershop on the first day it open up. I'm not going to a club or a restaurant on the first day it's opening up, because now it looks as if basically everybody's going to bum rush. The club open up, let's go. The restaurant's open up, let's go get a table and go get something to eat. I'm tired of sitting in the house. Yes, I get bored sitting in my house. I have video games. I play my video games. I watch TV. I do have a smart TV. I keep myself occupied. I go out when I only need to, either pay my bills, do essential errands and stuff like that. I don't go out like that because this is a pandemic. They say the highest cases of coronavirus is from the ages of 18 to 34. I'm not in that age bracket, thank God. But that doesn't put me out and that I'm not at risk person. Because I look at it as if anybody can get this virus. Because remember, at one point now they were saying that there was another virus that little children can get was associated with the coronavirus that adults couldn't get, but it was, what I'm saying, in kids. And I said every day they're coming up with things, and then they tell you in the CDC that it can take up to a year. It takes up to a year for a vaccine to be made for a virus, and it's going to take up a year. And everything started shutting down in March, and a lot of people, and soon as and I always say, soon as you started seeing what happened in China, just know that you couldn't keep a virus away from other countries. Just because there's a virus in China, or just because there's a virus in Russia, or just because there's a virus in Italy, England, or whatever, just because there's a virus in the U.S. doesn't mean that virus can contract to other countries. And then a lot of people are like, oh, the Chinese people can't leave their country. Yes, but now you have people who travel to and from China, to and from England, to and from Russia, to and from Africa, and these other countries, and they're coming back and forth. And some of these people may not be showing the symptoms, but they do have the symptoms, and you have to look at that. Just like how they say with AIDS can be in your body for years, and you don't feel nothing, or you don't get the symptoms of it. It's the same thing with coronavirus. You may have the virus, but don't know it because the symptoms probably in your system, and you may not know it, and you may not catch it, or they may not detect it, but it's in your system. So people don't take heed to that, and they just go out here and run out here and stuff like that. I did get checked, and how I got checked is very simple. I didn't get checked on the regular go to the testing sites, get checked, because that was a lot. When I was in Orlando, I did go out with me and my friends. This was on the last day of my trip. We end up going to City Walk, which is like parallel to Disney Springs. City Walk is like it's a Universal Studios area where you can dine, shop, and do everything. And you get tested before you get scanned before you can get into City Walk. I would have thought you would have to get scanned before you go inside Universal Studios, but to get to Universal Studios, you got to go through City Walk. And right before you get to City Walk, they scan you to make sure that you get checked. And if you got the symptoms, you out the door. And that's basically what all the theme parks and all the parks are supposed to do. Now, Fun Spot didn't do it, but Fun Spot did take cautions, and they did, keep hand sanitizer stations throughout the park. They did, have to clean the seats of the car, go karts and the roller coasters and everything that they had. They had to clean the seats out, and they do it. So I applaud them for that, because they do take the time to social distance and practice safetyness for their guests that's out there. And a lot of these people don't take heed to that, and they're not looking at it like, oh my God, is it? Because people like myself, I'm still out of work, from my main job. I'm still out of work. And a lot of people are still out of work because there's things like now, the basketball season. All NBA teams now have to live in Orlando, and they will be moving all basketball games to the ESPN Wide World of Sports Center at Disney World, because as you know, Disney has ties with the NBA. If y'all didn't know that, of course I know that, but in Disney World has ties with NBA. So they came with, and it's been like that for years. I don't know how long, but it's been like that for years. But now it came to a point where Disney and the NBA came to an agreement. We're going to play all the games inside the ESPN Wide World of Sports Center at Disney World. So now all the Disney properties, meaning the Disney hotels, are being rented out for the basketball players. Meaning you can't rent out a room on Disney property. You can't do none of that. Football, however, is going to continue with using their stadiums, but do social distancing and practice protocols. I don't know about baseball, but baseball is supposed to be the first professional sport to come back. Well, besides NASCAR, because NASCAR already started, but like actual sport, between baseball, basketball, hockey, stuff like that. Baseball is the first one that's supposed to come back, and I don't know if baseball, hockey, and football is supposed to be using. I know football said they're supposed to be using their own arenas But I don't know about baseball and hockey, stuff like that and stuff like that. So I look at a lot of people and I say, what I'm saying, it's going to get worse before it get better, because a lot of people are still losing their jobs. Look at what's going on down here. Now we're back to phase one. Now they're closing back up bars. They closing everything back down. Miami Aquarium, which is like aquatic theme park, a theme park. You know what I'm saying? A water. It's not like a water theme park. It's like a aquatic. Yeah, aquatic theme park for sea animals, whales, dolphins, and stuff. They just opened up maybe a couple of weeks ago, and now they're closing their doors back down, because the cases went up. And now a lot of these people are like, I just only work for 1 week, or I only work for 2 weeks, or I only work for 3 weeks, or I've been back to work for a month. Now I'm back out of a job. So now a lot of these people are looking at these things like, wow, and there are people that have been out of work since March, like myself. I've been out of work since mid-March, and I'm still out of work. And unemployment cases are going up and going down, and there's a lot of people that still going crazy over these unemployment cases. So a lot of this stuff that's going on is like, when will it end? And like I tell people, it's going to get worse before it get better. People think now that, we're going into phase two, things are starting to change. It's not changing yet because cases are still going up, and now they're stating that the cases are now up in younger people. And I say, yeah, because look at all these protests that's going on for George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, Ahmaud Arbery, and all these other people. Look at all these protests that's going on across statewide and countrywide. You know what I'm saying? Everybody is protesting for justice. And now that these people are not social distancing, you're supposed to be 6 feet apart. You aren't here robbing and looting stores just to get your point across. You aren't here, walking on expressways, doing, rant protesting and not following CDC guidelines and not following, safety requirements and all this. So of course the cases are going to go up, because there's a lot of hatred out here. There's a lot of, and these people are not worried about the virus. They worried about justice, and they're trying to get a law to ban chokeholds for law enforcement officers. And I look at it as if what they need to do is do an investigation of all police departments. And if you got any police officer that has hate crimes or racial crimes, or that is racist or impartial to racism, they need to assign them a different, assignment, meaning they don't need to be on the street. They need to be doing office work, paperwork, or whatever, or they need to let them go. Because it's time now that these officers are supposed to be protecting us, not killing us. And look how many people done died in 2020 alone. George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, Ahmaud Arbery. And not only that, you got police officers not just, killing people, but you're abusing them. You're you're beating them up, you're pushing them down, you're killing them, you're abusing your powers as a police officer because you feel like it's what you need to do. And I feel like it's wrong. And that's why I tell people 2020 is not the best year. It's going to get worse before it get better. And I just want to, say that just stay safe, stay positive in these times. If you protest peacefully. Don't go breaking the city up. Don't go terrorizing your cities. Don't go bashing everything, because it's hard out here. If you have any comments, if you have any questions, you can, at the bottom of this page, you can comment at the bottom of this page. You can also email us at roundtable00@yahoo.com. If you have any questions and concerns, if you want to be anonymous, you can also email us as well. I want to hear your comments and thoughts on what you feel about the COVID-19 pandemic. I also want to know what your comments and concerns about these protests and police brutality across statewide and countrywide. I want to know what you feel about everything that's going on now. And also, and we're going to be doing another show in a while. We're going to be doing another show based on um, based on the presidential election, because you know it's time for the presidential election. I want to know your thoughts, your opinions, your feedback on everything that's going on in 2020. I want to know what you feel about it. You know, we're not doing videos as normally as we would, because as I told you right now, we were supposed to be in our hot spots in South Florida segments, and we had to put a pause on that because of the coronavirus situation and everything. But we're going to get back to that at a later time. So, like I said, roundtable00@yahoo.com is our email. If you want to comment at the bottom of this section, you could. But if you want to be anonymous and comment about the video and email us, we can. We'll give your feedback, but we'll keep you anonymous. If you want to discuss a topic, you want us to discuss a topic on our show, you can also do that as well. If you have any questions or anything, email us, comment us, let us know what you about. We're here for you. This is what the Roundtable Talk is about. It's about gathering the communities for information and coming together. This is a talk show to talk about real serious stuff. Some stuff may be real, some stuff may be, fictional, non-fictional, but this is the time to, get this stuff out. I'm your host, C Money. I thank y'all for watching this episode. This is one of my first episodes that I have did at home in a while. I did a few, but it's like I'm doing a lot because with this coronavirus situation, it's hard for me to get production out. So I'm your host, C Money. I thank everybody for watching. Check us out on our next episodes. Look at our previous episodes. You can comment on our previous episodes as well. How you feel on everything. This is the Roundtable Talk. I'm your host. Stay safe, stay strong, stay safe, stay strong, stay blessed, and stay alive. And I'll catch you on the next episode.